I'm calm. I'm calm.
Oh, why do I even bother? Funny? Not funny.
Not funny.
Yeah, I posted a cat picture on Facebook. I think that's what you're supposed to do. I think you just post the damn cat picture. Just stop telling everybody what you're thinking and promoting your stuff and telling everybody about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just post the damn cat picture.
Cat picture.
That's it.
How many hits did you get?
I didn't. I actually posted a long diatribe about how difficult it is to get the music heard nowadays and get streams and all this stuff and get people interested in your projects. And interestingly, I did not post a link. I didn't post a link to the stuff that I was frustrated people weren't finding. And I got massive engagement. Massive. Just like, I don't know, 100 comments. And it made me think, like, what happened? I post, stuff about gigs, stuff about, recordings, videos, this podcast, all this stuff. No engagement. I post this like whiny diatribe about how I'm, upset about, I'm an artist and nobody listens to my, and it went nuts. It went nuts. And that's interesting. So then James O'Brien, our sleepy listener, texted me and he was like, dude, social media is in the business of promoting social media. They are not in the business of promoting you and your stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's really fascinating when you think about that, because of course they're not. Of course they have rooms full of people that are like, how can we filter out more self-promotion? And can you think why?
No. Help me here. What do you
Right.
What are you
so
saying?
People go on and they're like, they have to be careful about it because they don't necessarily want to filter out like some cool basket weaving I did. They want to filter out stuff that I'm selling or that will generate money for me. So links to Spotify, links to, Bandcamp, links to Patreon, links to even this podcast for some reason. Because maybe I have advertisers. Because what do? How do they make money?
Is people going to their pages, not to somebody else's pages?
Well, they sell advertising.
Right.
So if you're trying to promote stuff for free on social media, just give up. Just quit it.
Well, what do they actually do? Point. I mean, do they block your links? I mean,
I don't think, it's really, who knows what they do, right? But I just noticed, like, I posted another big item that I posted was just like, I reached chapter 15 in my third book.
Right.
Boom. Everybody's like, whoa, great. That's awesome. And it became that little friendly community that you like, right? Everybody's like, that's fantastic. Keep going. Really good. Can't wait to read it, blah, blah, blah. But if I said, I reached chapter 15 in book 3, here's where you can buy book 2 and book 1, I bet they wouldn't see it. I bet it would never show up in their feed.
Well, why don't you test this?
I will.
Yeah. I mean, you can experiment with this.
Yeah.
I mean, I told you, I read that article about Mr. Beast. And
right.
He said, I spent like 5 years, like waking up in the morning, figuring out how I can figuring out YouTube.
Yeah.
Sleeping and eating. And that's it. That's all I did. I did YouTube, sleep, eat, and YouTube. And what size font should be on the title in the thumbnail description. Let's try 100 different variations and see which one gets the most hits. So I don't know, do an experiment. But yeah, I love how I love how they say, we're in the business of engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the word I'd use.
I mean,
how about addiction? Is that what drug dealers are in the business of?
That's
we're in the business of engagement.
Here I am. I'm like, they love angsty posts. Like, I don't know what to do with my life, or I'm having trouble with my girlfriend or my wife, my kids, Or I hate so and so, political figure, musician, movie star, the
Yeah.
Jews.
Yeah.
That's great because that makes people angry, or it gets their emotions up, and they promote that because they'll keep scrolling and they'll find an ad, and the ads are paid for. So I will do a little bit of experimentation, but I think really what I'll do is like dedicate some money and run some ads and see what happens with that. So,
yeah, I know. I talk to my buddy Bob all the time, and he has produced music with world-class musicians.
yeah.
And he says, I have no idea how to get anybody to hear anything. What do I do? He said, there's just nothing to do.
I know. Well, I can't wait to have James on. James, so we had a guest, Sean, who had to cancel. And then I was, James saw I sort of posted this angsty thing and I left it alone. I was just like, nobody's going to respond to this. It's stupid. It was just me being a baby. But James was like, dude, you need to check that post. He said it's hilarious. And then he quoted a couple of things. People were like, I don't know. I can't find things. I don't know where I thought I was thought about listening, but then I didn't, and they were all very nice. They were very complimentary, but James found it very, very funny. And he was saying that, where was I going? Oh, he said, advertising is still advertising. If you buy ads, that's a marketing plan. If your marketing plan is talk about it on Facebook or talk about it on Insta or Threads or Blue Sky or whatever the hell, that's not a marketing plan. That's not marketing. And it turns out that's actually what James does for a living. He's become this marketing guru. So I don't know. It'll be fascinating to have him on. It'll be fascinating to have Sean on. We don't have either of them. And James has COVID, so he really bad apparently. It's bad, this strain. Knocked him out, really painful throat thing, sweats. I'm basically giving away personal information. HIPAA. I have a knock joke for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Ready? Knock knock.
Who's there?
HIPAA.
HIPAA who?
I can't tell you.
But we need a rim shot sample.
I think I've got it.
You got a rim shot?
There it is. That's it. Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Try the shrimp.
You want to hear an even worse joke?
Yeah.
I heard this one today at work. A guy was at a funeral, and he went up to the he went up to the widow.
It's going well. Go ahead.
And he went up to the. It's like having a heckler in a one-on-one. And he goes up to the window and he says, can I say one thing? And she goes, okay. He goes, plethora. And she goes, thank you. That means a lot to me. Rim shot.
Wait. Oh, there's a big delay in front of that rim shot. It's no good. Come on. Yeah, exactly. There we are. Thank you. So,
okay, what do we do for the rest of this episode?
I have no idea. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a 9-minute episode and we just call it a day. I can tell you, you haven't been reading anything or watching anything. What are you doing up there in Syracuse? Are you just looking at nature? Are you walking around blissfully?
I spent a lot of time. So when we cannot afford to completely antagonize what few people we have listening to this thing. Let us say I've been gainfully employed. I did go on a bike ride, and I signed up for Literacy CNY.
Huh.
So I went to the local library.
Yep.
And I said, hey, are there some really good nonprofit volunteer organizations that need bodies? And they said, yeah, here's a list of them. And they hand me the library handed me a list of things, but they said, check out these guys, especially Literacy CNY. And I attended So I signed. They offer multiple services. The two that I signed up for was their classic adult literacy service, where you literally meet with adult people who need help with literacy at a library.
Mm-hmm.
You have like a shift. You have a set time every week that you're there, and and either you have walk-ins or you have scheduled things. And you sit down, and you help people with literacy. They also have a new thing they're doing now, which is digital literacy.
Oh.
And I signed up for that too. And so yesterday was the orientation session. It was just a one-on-one with this lady who works for them. Great presentation. And she told me that Literacy CNY was started by, I think I'm getting the name right, Ruth Colvin.
Oh.
It was started in 1961 because she read an article about how there was a literacy problem in central New York. And she started Literacy CNY. She's 106 years old.
Wow.
If I remember correctly. And she's still active on the board.
Whoa.
And it has spawned like a global organization. But so anyway, that's one of the things that I'm playing around with right now. Is I went to this presentation yesterday. I'm going to start on October 21st, helping people with digital literacy. So that's one thing that I'm doing.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I'm doing a lot of work. I'm really chopping away at work. And I'm also doing a lot of stuff around the cleaning stuff up and putting out trash and continuing to spruce up the house a little bit and dealing with that. So yeah, that's sort of what I've been doing. And I'm coming out your way, not this weekend, but the weekend afterwards. I'll be going to Boston to visit Jim and to visit some family members.
We're gonna get tapas, I believe, Spanish food.
Wow,
it's good.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
That's what I'm into. But the kids might steer us towards sushi. That's also good.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm up for either. I really am. It's just strange. You're right. My life has been a bit of an intellectual wasteland the past few weeks. Have I read anything? I mean,
it's okay to take a break. I mean, you've been going like crazy.
Well, I found a book about the Barnes Foundation, which is that's an amazing topic. The Barnes Foundation. Have we talked about it before on the show?
We did a little bit. We talked about the art of the steal and the move and our experience in the old mansion that it used to be in.
Right. Okay.
That was early on.
That field.
Early days.
We plowed that field, but I found the book and I was looking at the pictures again. So that was cool. Archie and Mahitable. We talked about that.
Yeah.
When we were talking with Nick. Yeah. And I ordered a copy of the annotated Archie, which is a new version. It's a version with all kinds of explanations of what was going on at the time. Because some of the writings reference things very specific to what was going on at the time. I think
interesting.
It's the 30s.
Yeah.
And Archie and Mahitable, and Harriman, who's like the famous illustrations. It's like Tenniel's drawings for Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody associates Harriman, but actually, I think I sent you that thing. There's been a lot of people who've done Alice in Wonderland. There's been a lot of illustrators, and some of them are really impressive. Like I sent you that one of the Mad Hatter, which was really scary.
Yeah, that was great.
Really ominous and very threatening. And there's other people who've done that.
Who was that by? Who was that illustrator?
It's going to take.
I think I might have it in the references. Our references have fallen down, but I've started putting links in the description of the podcast.
Yeah,
so people can find some.
Yeah. I can't recommend highly enough the annotated Alice, which is the Martin Gardner book, which is in like its 5th reprinting, its 5th edition. And one of the cool things about the annotated Alice is that they include these illustrations by people other than Tenniel. So you'll see like 5 different versions of the Mad Hatter and the March Hare. And some of them are really cool. Some of them are really, really, really interesting. And same thing with Crazy Cat. Not Crazy Cat, Archie and Mahitable, which is that other people have done Archie and Mahitable. Other people have taken the same set of poems and written their illustrations. Harriman's are so famous because he did Crazy Cat. Yeah. And he had such a distinctive style. but a lot of other people have done illustrations. So I'm sort of thinking about that. And trees, thinking about trees.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's kind of boring.
You have foliage there. Is foliage beginning?
Nothing has turned significantly just yet. But I went to the nursery to get a tree because there's like a big hole in front of my house where I guess a tree once was. Yeah. And I said, I want a big tree. And they go, well, this one can go up to 45 feet. I'm like, 45 feet? Do you see the trees outside my house? They're like sequoias.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so tall they should have freaking red lights on top of them. I mean, they're probably an FAA violation.
Well, don't you have to worry about the roots? I mean, the roots are going to kind of get under your house, aren't they?
Yeah, but I'll be dead by then. Who cares?
Who cares?
I just want a big honking tree. I'll send you a picture of one of the trees I have in front. Across the street from me is this enormous evergreen tree.
I'm sure it started as a small tree. Oh, you're saying that it will. If 45 feet is
where it tops out,
the expected top out. Okay.
Yeah. Enough. They wanted to sell me a celebration. I mean, I buckled because I kept talking. I said, "Do you have anything bigger?" And they're like, "Look, will you just buy the celebration maple?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's going to be puny." Yeah, well, we'll give you the celebration maple. And I'm like, "Well, do you have anything else?" Well, we got a celebration maple. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I give up, Uncle. So the celebration maple it is, and I'll put in the celebration maple. Put that in the links, okay?
The celebration maple. We'll have a picture of the damn tree that you're going to have out in front. Well, are there any orchards near where you are? There must be.
Here's the funny thing that happened. I love life. I really do. I sent an email to my brother Damien. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he's listening to this. I said, hey, here's some pictures of my house and here's some pictures of the dirt in front of it. And, have any gardening ideas? He writes back. He says, put a hydrangea next to the door to lend an accent. Get three 2-gallon rhododendrons, plant them in a line. You're going to need peat moss. You're going to need black cow manure, and you're going to need a heavy acid fertilizer. Mix them together. You need to drop them down 2 feet. But first, you got to check to make sure what the weather conditions are because you don't want them dying because of the weather and stuff like that. And I almost wrote an email back to him saying, hey, can you be I don't like when you send me these vague suggestions. So I went to and he says, also, I found the nursery for you. Go to Morgan Mila. These are the people. This looks like a good place. So I went to Morgan Mila, of course. Like you said, Johnny Do,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Johnny Gotta Do. Yeah.
Johnny Gotta Do. So I went to Morgan Mila and I took the cell phone. I just handed it to the young lady who was at the counter and she goes, boy, your brother really knows what he's talking about, doesn't he?
Sorry.
I said, don't give him a big head, okay? But it was great. It was just great. He says, this is what you do. I was like, I can do that. That I can do. So I'm waiting for them to arrive to put that in. So that's my experiments with horticulture and landscaping. Nice. I know this is we're reaching new heights here.
Now that we've really captured the listener's attention.
We've hooked them.
I want to experiment with advertising on Funny Not Funny. So hang on, this will be our first ad. This podcast is brought to you by this podcast, Funny Not Funny, the podcast with Jim and Lionel, where we talk about stuff that's going on, or we're reading, or watching, or stuff we've seen, or things that bother us. You can find it at funnynotfunny.bigego.com. And please leave a rating or review when you listen. What do you think?
Cool. I think it's fabulous. It's very Borgesian.
Yeah.
We need an infinitely nested series of self-referential promotions within each other. But all that being said, okay, so now we got to talk about something that somebody would actually be interested in listening to.
Yeah, it's hopeless.
We're out of that's. I got nothing.
I don't think so. I am reading. Again, I'm getting up so early and I'm going to sleep so early. I am reading Dead Rise, so I'm getting through it. It's just taking me a while because I can only read like a couple of pages and then boom, I'm gone. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fast paced. Have you picked it up at all?
No, I got to get that. I'm sorry.
Well, that's all right. Just before Robert, if Robert wants to be a guest, but nobody wants to be a guest. Why would people?
Why would they?
I don't know. How did we get Nick on here? Nick that was like
really
crazy.
Because he was a nice person.
Yeah, that's So why?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we should. There I am, with my butt. I need to train myself. We'll call it butt. Yep. There I go again. Just wait until you have something to say, Jim.
We're just going to sit here until it's going to be a Quaker meeting. We're just going to sit here until the Spirit moves us.
So have you been biking? You were saying you're going to join a biking group.
I did. And I did one 20-mile bike ride after having not ridden a bike for like 6 years and basically had a myocardial infarction. And then 2 days later, I did another 20-mile bike ride.
Nice.
I thought, okay, now I got it covered. Now, I've been broken back in, but this one actually had hills. So I had to walk my bike a couple of times, but I was definitely dead last each time. So
that's good though. You're in it. I'm terrible at yoga and I'm doing it in the morning. I think if I'm going to do more stuff, I'm going to do it solo because the problem is I'm like the slowest person. Like the Onondaga Cycling Club, they have like the fast people. Yeah. And then they got like the slow and easy ones. And then there's me. Right. And I don't want to hold them up or cramp their style. So I think the good news is that the Empire Trail goes right past my house here. So I'm just going to just get on solo. I can just get on the bike. I don't need a group or a tour or a team or anything. Right. Because they're all gone anyway. Like so if you had that heart attack, it's not like they'd be there to help.
Oh, yeah. Actually, they're very sweet. They're actually waiting for me at the end. And I felt really, really bad. So that's why I'm just going to go solo. And collapse in isolation.
You'll get up to speed. Biking, actually, I know this. If I've not been biking, and I'm just a city biker, but if I've not been biking for a while, it hurts for a while. Your system has to get used to it.
Yeah, I gotta just get back in. Yeah. But not recently. I've actually been really, really busy past few days doing a lot of work and just sprucing stuff up. But at least I went on 220-mile bike rides. It was lovely, but it was really torture for me. It's very hard. I'm grossly out of shape and overweight. But I'm sort of turning a corner at work now. It's one of these massive projects at work where you just spend like 2 weeks avoiding it. And then you spend a week like just sawing it. And then finally at some point, you stick your hands in and it catches. And now I'm at that point now where I'm actually starting to hack away at the actual work. So I'll turn the corner on that. I should read Dead Rise, but there's nothing on TV that holds any fascination for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, the writer's strike, it sounds like it's actually ended. And maybe, then new things will return to production in November, I believe. So there may be some new things. Yeah. But I haven't had time to watch anything. I mean, reading is pretty much all I can do right now.
Yeah.
I've given up on that Blinkist thing because how many self-help books can you really stomach? I mean, how many things are you actually going to do? I can't believe people actually listen to summaries of self-help books over and over again because some of them are going to contradict each other. Like you need to eat lots of sardines. Right? You should never eat sardines.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. It's,
I don't know. You should get up earlier in the morning. You should get up as late as possible.
Oh yeah. No, we are literally living in the Library of Babel. Yeah. Where every book ever written is somewhere on the shelves. Every statement is somewhere. You'll never find the one you're looking for, but everything is there. And and the internet has become the Library of Babel. Everything is there. Every statement ever made is present.
I finished The Magician's Nephew, reading it to my daughters. Mm-hmm. And the next thing I was going to do was read them Piranesi. And I may have reached the dreaded point when my daughters no longer wish for me to read to them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, the last few nights, and it's just been a little while, but they've been just like, can we not do story hour tonight?
What do they want to do?
Yeah, it's a good question. I should spy on them.
Jim, it's only like one big room. It can't be
Well,
that.
that's true. I know. I live in a giant room. But they have their own room in the giant room. So
I know, I'm joking, but it's just like,
yeah.
But
How hard could it be?
Did they hustle you out of their alcove and say, look, it's us time now?
Oh, they're getting older, but yeah, I mean, my oldest one is now 12, so that's a time when. Plus, she has a ton of homework. Her new school is really heavy on homework.
That's fine. Whatever. Yeah.
It may just be, maybe it'll come back. We'll see. But I'd love to read Piranesi to them. I tried reading. Okay.
It'd be a good one to close on.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, The Magician's Nephew was fine to close on, but it's sort of like, and so the godlike creature said, "Son of Adam, go home," and they did. The end. Sorry, they gave it away. Spoilers.
You should force upon them Piranesi. If you just finish The Magician's Nephew, they should listen to Piranesi.
I know.
And then call quits and say, okay, we're going to take a break on reading here. But while it's still fresh in their minds, you should you got to put Dad's foot down.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to read to you and you're going to like it.
You should see the look of abject horror on Jim's face.
Dad's foot down. That
yeah, that's going to go real big.
Yeah. One thing I am doing at work is things are really slow at work. And that's a little scary because, ordinarily, if you're working for somebody else and things are slow, that's fine, so long as you still have a job. But in my case, it's my business. So I'm not generating new revenue, which is always concerning. But it has given me a chance to work on the open source version of my web platform, which I'm rewriting from scratch. And that's been pretty fascinating. What's the right way to put together a web system that isn't just a blogging platform that's been turned into a web system, something like WordPress, but is actually made for the whole website to be put together in a modular fashion that doesn't rely on plugins and can be designed by someone who knows how to do web design without templates. So, yeah, that's been.
So how does that work? Because I know a little bit of HTML.
Yeah.
So what happens? You sit down and you say, I want to put together a site. And then it says, do you want a about us page? Do you want a directory? It has like some canned tool components that you can put together.
Yeah. I mean, in a sense, maybe because it's an open source version and I want it to be friendly to people, the idea that it doesn't have templates could be a lie because it does have modular structures for different sections. So, about us, that's a basic section. Homepage, that's a basic section. And homepage is going to have a different structure than the about us section. So the about us section is really like title, main image, text, series of links, attachments, end page, and end entry. But it's also got to have some teleology. So you may have like our team and then have a list of entries under our team and people that we work with, and then a list of entries under people that we work with, or one entry with a lot of pictures. So I started building the system from the top down. And for a web page, that's literally from the top down. So the top of the page is what's called the head. And in the head is all the scripts and links and canonical information that all the browsers need. And then the header, which contains the site navigation, the logo, branding items, and then the main content of the page and the footer, the end. And then within there's sub-navigation. So I make it down to the footer and I'm done. But of course, then I also have to put in tools for editing the website. But it's dragging all this stuff out of a database. And a lot of the decisions I have to make are, how do you categorize items? And how are things organized in the database? So I'm sort of in favor of simplest possible database structure, simplest possible structure on the page, not any embedded styles or too many divs inside of divs and things like that. And Yeah.
And so so let's say, like default a page just has like one panel in it. What if I
Mhm.
want a 2-column layout? Can I
Right.
do that?
Yeah, so I thought about that. I thought, do I do that within the content for a single entry? And my feeling about it, in the direction I think I'm going for that, is that you have like a style pull down. This entry is one column, and then the next entry is one column, um, and or it's part of a 3-column group,
Mhm.
or it's um, 3/4 width and the other is 1/4 width or something like that. And so you kind of choose the style for the entry and then it sits next to the others.
Now, I've heard relentless advertisement from several companies that seem to market a similar product.
Yes.
So I'm assuming there are similar products
Oh,
out
yeah, there
there.
are. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And so yours is open source, so it's more affordable to a lot of people.
Yeah, the idea is I want something that people can pick up, host elsewhere. They still need a web developer to help them, design it and things like that. I'm not doing kind of WYSIWYG drag and drop. I've seen what that looks like in some other platforms, and I really don't like the results. So I'm sort of focusing on simplicity of code, simplicity of markup,
Mhm.
and an expert, to help you with it. So, but I've gotten lost in my train of thought there. I just went back to building it in my head. But
So you're kind of using it. So a cynical person might say that this is sort of like your gateway drug. You hand this out to people and say, "Here, you can write your own website. It's free." And then they get like halfway there and they go, "How do I get underline? How do I get drop capitals?" Oh well,
yeah,
that's
the paid version. Yeah.
That's me. Yeah, you need me to do it, and I'll
Well,
help you with it.
there's something like that. I mean, part of it also
That's
is
fine though. That's okay.
I want a version of the system that lives beyond me.
Right.
I want something that will go out into the open source community that can get rewritten and improved, or forked, as I say. It's all forked, but and also there might be some sites that will want to move on to their own server so they can manage it themselves.
Yep.
And so this would be a way for for them to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a lot of logical problems with it. I mean, how do you define an introductory page? How do you determine whether something is a series of excerpts rather than a series of entries on a single page? What defines that? And how does that data structure look in the in the back end? So yeah, it's been interesting. It's an interesting project. Right now, all the pages say 404. So I have some work to do.
Right.
They used to say something. Now they all say 404. So, okay.
Okay, we got a little bit of wood shedding to do on this one.
Yeah. But
you did it again.
but
I'm
not going to say it. I was saying before that if you haven't yet, you should see if there are any apple orchards nearby, and you should go apple picking with your daughter.
Yes, I should. I actually have an apple tree on my property.
Oh.
And I've actually eaten some of the apples, but they're little apples.
Little apples.
And then the deer come by and eat them.
Of course.
There's a family of deer that walks right past my door all the time.
Wow. Well, that's because you're feeding them.
Dozen. Well, they're feeding themselves, and they go up and down the neighborhood, but they're quite stately and quite unafraid. But yes, I would love to do that sometime. But we got a pretty full dance card. We're coming out next weekend to Boston.
Yeah.
And then the weekend after that, we have to go to California for a wedding. So yeah, the dance card is pretty full for the next few days.
Wow.
But yeah, we did do. Yeah, but I told you we did do a drive. We went to Skinny Atlas and all that kind of stuff like that. So we've been enjoying it. But the best thing in the world, honestly, the best thing in the world is to have a little co-op store a block away. Oh my God. That's wonderful. Because I'm working and then I'm like, I want a pastry. Yeah. And it won't be any calories because I'm walking the 150 feet to the co-op store.
That works out.
Apple picking time. Yeah, we can go apple picking. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a fantastic thing to do in the fall. We look forward to it.
This whole thing is, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for something bad to happen.
Oh, winter's coming.
So it gets cold.
Do you have a nice down jacket or something that you can throw on?
I have a lot of stuff. I actually went down. So I had. I'm not gonna stoop that low.
Would you like to list everything in your closet?
No,
that'll take up time.
I'm not gonna do it. But But the funny thing is, as Heraclitus says, you can never step into the same river twice.
Yes.
So I had this really crappy pair, not crappy, but a modest quotidian pair of little fleece-lined slippers from Target.
Mm-hmm.
And I wore them forever. And they're really kind of disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
So I threw them out. I said, okay, I'm just going to get another pair. Stupid me. You throw them out after you found the replacement. You don't throw them out before you find the replacement. Because I threw them out and I couldn't find the replacement. And so I went to another store that had shearling lined slippers.
Yep.
Don't feel the same. They just don't feel the same. I know this is such a ridiculous discussion. I mean,
Lionel slippers.
Yeah. But yes, I have.
You just did it.
But I hope I have enough winter stuff to carry me through. They don't sell. I think they're screwing with me. I think they know that I just moved here, and so they're kind of jerking me around here in Syracuse.
Who's they? Who?
Everybody in Syracuse.
Everyone.
Because I went to, and it happened to my daughter too. I went to Lowe's. I said, "Got any snow shovels?" Oh, we don't have any yet. They haven't come in yet. I'm like, what? I said, it's America's snowiest city. I'm trying to get ahead of the curve here. Mm-hmm. They said, yeah, but she says we haven't gotten them, but when they come in, you better. I'd order online. Honestly, you better get here fast because they fly off the shelves. I'm like, oh, this really sucks. I'm going to order a snow shovel from Amazon. That's pathetic. But
yeah, okay, but you didn't get a. They literally didn't have. They weren't just like yanking your chain and they had them right.
No, they have no snow shovels.
Okay,
they have no snow shovels.
You don't need one.
That's sort of a rite de passage to get my snow shovel. For whatever reason, I managed to hang on to a windshield ice scraper for the past 14 years.
That's important.
But not a snow shovel. That's a little bigger investment. Yeah. I've got gloves, I got hats, I got all this stuff. And we'll see how it goes. But right now it's quite lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. These are is it salad days? Is that
these are the days, my friends? These are the days.
We thought they'd never end.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I that's about all we've got, right?
I mean, honestly,
this was a waste of time.
Well, no, it was. I got to see your unsmiling face.
I think we have time for one more ad. Listen to the fantastic new album by Jim Infantino, Utopia Revisited, now on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever you stream your music. Also, you can purchase downloads at bandcamp.com, jimsbigego.bandcamp.com. Vinyl will soon be available there for pre-order now. Utopia Revisited, electronic acoustic ambient music from Iceland. I like it. I like reading the ads. If we ever had an advertiser, I think we'd read it, we'd do it live.
Well, yeah, it's like they used to do in the old TV shows where the actor would all of a sudden just turn around and start reading a commercial to you. I smoke Lucky Strikes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it drives Bob Lloyd to distraction. I mean, he has world-class musicians, orchestrations of his pieces. Stuff that he spent significant money recording.
Yeah.
What do you do with it?
It is problematic. And when you think about it, musicians are doubly screwed because Where does revenue come from? It comes from streaming. And streaming is like a third of a penny per stream. So if you're going to be driving people there with advertising, which is going to cost you a whole lot more than a third of a penny per click, you're never going to make money. How do you do the ROI on that?
Yeah.
It's really tough.
Yep.
Unless you have diehard fans who are willing to buy things like vinyl and t-shirts and blah, blah, blah. The actual product is so close to zero that it's really difficult.
Yeah.
It'd be like doing an advertisement for like radio plays. It's, of course, we get to control what we hear in streaming. So it's not like that at all. But yeah, it's a tough one. But I still think it's a great album. It's the best thing I've made musically. Dar said it best. My friend Dar Williams said it best. She was on the pod, but she said it best. She said, "This is the album that you've always wanted to make." I think that's right. I took all my old influences and it put them together into the thing. But there it is. I just want to go back, and I wanted to make money so I can go back and do it again. Make the next one.
Yeah.
That's all. I'll take all of it. I'm not going to, my family won't see a penny. I'll just take it all and put it back into the next album that won't make any money.
Yeah.
The artist's life. Okay, Lionel.
Okay, Jim. So I'll see you next Saturday.
I'll see you next Saturday.
We'll
talk next week.
Okay.
All right, man.
Bye.
Funny Not Funny podcast is produced by me, Jim Infantino. This clip from the album Utopia Revisited. We are found wherever podcasts are found. Visit our website at funnynotfunny.bigego.com. Please tell your friends and leave a rating or review.